Hey, Sean, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with me today. It really means a lot. I'm just going to ask you some easy questions about your experience working with us, about how you feel about Robbie's growth and his learning. And there's no perfect way to answer, right? I just want your
Right.
honest thoughts in your own words. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about Robbie before he started working with us, right? What were some of the challenges he was facing in school or with learning before, he entered into my classes?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just his lack of determination to complete something. Usually he would start his work and get sidetracked and then not never finish it and had to be reminded 110 times.
Yeah. And that, it's going to be probably a struggle for him for more than just now, right? I mean, it's still a struggle for me.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And
yeah.
that's
And
that
then,
was
and that's that's part of growing up, right? He's still young and he's got a lot to do and learn and grow from. But yeah. So what were some of your goals for him before he entered class with us, right? What were some of your goals before I even ever met him in his education? What are some of your goals for him?
just to be able to feel confident in his ability to do things.
I agree.
Was really the big goal. I'm kind of a weird dad where I want them to succeed in the way that they feel comfortable, but also like they have to be a little uncomfortable to get there, you know?
Yeah, that's a conversation that I had with him actually whenever he was in my classes. I sat him down and I was like, "Listen, buddy, there's not going to be a shortcut to learning this stuff. You gotta do it.
Right.
You're gonna have to get a little uncomfortable. You're gonna have to, push past it. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But at the same time, I also appreciate where you're coming from as far as like success that looks right for him. You know what I mean? Like and doesn't have to meet other people's like expectations, just what he's confident about in his own abilities. I love that.
Exactly.
Cool. So how would you describe the difference that you've noticed in Robbie in his confidence or skills since working with us?
One of the biggest changes I've noticed is that he's willing to ask when he doesn't understand. And that's a big thing because without him asking, then I don't know where he's at. And
He's
so
not going to get the help. Yeah.
exactly. And that's one of them. The other thing I noticed is when I do more corrective things with him, like, hey, like I asked you, this happened this morning, hey, I asked you to sweep the floor and you missed half the floor
Yeah.
because I didn't check up on you, so I need you to do it. And instead of him like pouting about it, he just up and did it. And then asked me, hey, is this right? And we had to work on it a little bit more, but it just seems like he's more understanding towards criticism
Mm.
that's constructive.
Right. And that comes with confidence, right? And also the other thing you mentioned about asking for help, both of those things come with confidence. And I love that you said that because it's one way that learning these skills in academics, math, for example, or any academics, also help us in our real life, right? Outside of the academic world. So I love that you mentioned that. That's so cool. And what have you found most helpful or valuable about our work with Robbie?
Just his overall attitude in general, like he feels like he belongs.
Oh, he does.
Mhm.
He does belong. He's such a good kid. Um, and I'm really happy that he's been in my classes, like, because I see so much of my ADHD self in him, right? Um,
Right.
and it's just been awesome to work with him. He's so silly and amazing. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad to hear that. That's so, so cool. All right. So, how did my approaches to working with Robbie in our classes help you as a parent feel more supported or hopeful about his learning?
Yeah, so it's just kind of like what I said earlier, right? So like chores are a little bit easier. He understands that like there's an expectation. So I feel like
Hmm.
a big part of your approach is that there's expectations at the beginning, and these are how you're going to do it, and you're going to take breaks, and you're going to have these things. So we've kind of applied some of those um, like your intro video talked about taking breaks in between tasks, and we've kind of applied that, and it makes it much easier for them, all of my kids, not just Robbie, but all of them to complete tests in
Oh yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Chunking it up. Chunk it up. That's what I tell the kids. Do
Yeah,
not try to approach the whole thing at once. It is too much for our brains to handle. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad that it's helped not just Robbie, but both of your or all of more than you have lots of kiddos, right? It's a big
yeah.
happy family. I love that. All right. So just a couple more questions. The next one is, if another parent was on the fence about getting tutoring with us, what would you tell them?
That it's worth it, that the approach is beneficial for everybody in the family, not just the one child that gets the tutoring.
Oh, thank you. Is there anything else that you would want to share about your experiences with working with me, with our classes as a whole, or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that I liked was the amount of communication was not too much and not too little, to where if I missed a lesson, which we did, I knew about it. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't the school's fault. It was my fault. So I
Mhm.
really liked the great communication you guys had.
Oh, thank you. I try really hard on that. And I'm actually glad that you mentioned that it wasn't too much because that's one thing I worry about is that I'm talking too much or that I'm texting too much or saying too many things. Because I know I get wordy and like my text messages and stuff get long. And I'm like, oh no, nobody likes to read this much. I should I
It was
should put a lid on it, right? But thank you for saying that because I worry about that. All right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of that with me. We're done. It really does help so much, not just for me, but other families that might be feeling the same way that you did about their kid and their child, and like, I'm worried about them. They have all this potential and all these skills, and they're just not applying it. But there are ways that we can move past the problems, right? And that's what I hope to help, I hope that I did help Robbie with, right?
yeah,
And I hope that I can help lots of ADHD kids and families one time. So thank
yeah.
you so, so much again.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sarah.
All right, you're amazing. See you
Okay,
later.
talk
Bye.
to you later. Bye.